Hey y'all. Well, we got another first here on the place, at least over here on this side of the house. Put me some strawberries in. Guess I'll have to let them do what they do. I don't know how much confidence I get in growing this fancy stuff. I had to break out the old plow to do that little bit, and got to thinking how we broke so much land here when we first moved in. We didn't have a tiller, and after doing just that little spot, I'm like, my goodness, how in the world did I do all that back a year and a half ago or so? I guess it's in the want to. I'd read some time ago, Ezra Taft Benson, what was he, our 15th president, I believe? He'd recounted a story about back in the day. He was a kid, I think, and was hired to weed a beet field, if I remember correctly. And he just set out that morning to see how much he could do. He'd never done all he could do before, so he reckoned he'd try. And didn't pay much attention to how much he had done. Till the end of the day, looked back, he'd done an acre of beets, which would take a grown man. I don't know if a grown man could do it. Anyway, the farmer came out, was pretty shocked at that he'd done all that in one day's work. I think he got a couple of $5 gold pieces and a few silvers out of that one. Thought he was rich as a kid. Funny how most of us want to try to get away with just doing as least as we can, but I guess sometimes the winners like him decided they'd do all they could and surprised himself. Anyway, I don't know if I've got an image to do that whole pasture out there with that hand plow. I reckon if it needed to be done, it was about survival, we'd get it done. I did get the potatoes in finally. They a little wet on Valentine's Day, but the moon was right through today. So I'd had to wait another week if I didn't put them in this afternoon. We got them in and should be seeing some sprouts for long. What are we, about 32 days from spring this year? I reckon we're going to have a few more freezes along the way. We always do. But, man, it's sure looking lush around here. I saw a sure sign of spring coming. We don't have groundhogs around here. We got robins in the spring, and those old trees over there this morning were full of them. It was a welcome sight. Remember as a kid seeing them robins, and spring is surely coming. We've had a pretty good weekend on the place. Rough week, I guess. Our little Duke is still fighting. Y'all remember we went to the vet last week after finding him pretty lethargic in the backyard. And not a great prognosis with the liver being so large, but that vet gets paid to do what he does, and skilled in it. Years of schooling and practice, but it's still a practice. And I trust his judgment. But everything's got a job. These old chickens got a job to turn grain into breakfast, or when too many roosters are around, little chicken dumplings. That's their job. These old dogs' job is to protect the breakfast makers and us and the place. But when one of them gets down, I guess it falls back to me to do what we can to try to help along the way. Animal husbandry is something we were created to do, in charge of them. And I took all that into account when we came back home with the bad prognosis. Thought about putting him down, and not saying that ain't out of the picture. It's not an emotional bond, he's just a pup. It's more of a sense of duty to let nature work itself out. So an update, he was not eating, and I can assure you he's in the best of care in that house. We pumped the Pedialyte down him and some baby food, things of that nature, and all of his functions are normal. He's urinating and passing and all that, so he's not bound up, still a little weak. And I'd almost given up Friday because he just was in bad shape, not in pain, If I thought he was, I'd make a different decision. He's just weak. I think he got into some poison, to be honest with you, if I had to guess. Probably had a little bit of an enlarged liver from the genetics, but it's not anything that can't be overcome with attention. So we're letting him fight. Friday didn't look good. He hadn't taken on much water Friday like he was, and didn't really have an appetite. And I figured out, I took a few little puppy food kibbles in my hand, which he hadn't ate solid food in a week. And he attacked my hand like he was starving. So I reckon he just didn't want no more baby food. So he's went through about 6 or 7 cups of good old Star Pro dog food, puppy food, here in the last 24 hours. He's drinking plenty of water. He's up, moving around a little bit, still weak. So I'm not saying we're out of the woods, but it's not time to call it. So I would show him here, but he sleeps a lot. But he's getting a lot of loving and a lot of attention and the best of care. The minute that turns, if it does for the worst, then we'll make the hard decision to put him out of his misery, but he's not in misery at this point. So appreciate the vet at least checking things out. We know what we're up against, but we'll just let the creator of the universe work that out. If it's time to go, it's time to go. And we'll be okay with that. Part of it on the farm, isn't it? But I sure ain't gonna get in the way of something that's billions of years old and was created by the one. So we'll do what we're called to do until we need to go another route. I'm sure not gonna make rash decisions. We've got a record on eggs. I think they're coming around. I think they're liking more of the sunshine and the green, and up to 15 out of 80 hens. So not great odds, but better than 9 or 10, isn't it? Won't be long. It'll be we've stacked up on egg cartons in there, so I imagine we'll go through them pretty quick before too long. About time to stop mowing the garden and start plowing it. I was going to do a little bit of that this weekend, but came home to grass about a foot tall, so I had to mow it. But we'll get it tilled. Won't be nothing to it. But, boy, it's pretty out here, isn't it? Seeing a little sunshine, I guess we better take it while we can. Old forecast says we probably won't see much more of it this week. Funny how in most professions you get things wrong and you don't have a job too long, but these weather forecasters, God bless them, they get to say whatever they think. Best educated guess, and they got a job right on. And we're okay if they're wrong. Yeah, oh well. Hey, let me do a quick roll call, and it's about time to go in there and get old puppy his food again. So we're just hoping for the best there. But either way it goes, we're blessed. These old roosters want me to feed the dogs. They like to try to eat that dog food, but Sissy don't have none of that. Look at them over there standing around. That dog food's right there in that white container. And there's the dog bowls. As soon as I put food out, those sissies will jump up and make sure that they don't get any of it. Our other little puppy's out there in the yard, and we've got the underneath that house blocked off now in case there's anything under there that causes a problem. But let me do a quick roll call, see how everybody's doing, and we'll call it an evening. Scroll back a little bit. There's Miss Donna Wells down Hustle Way. Wild man, how are you? Charlotte saying howdy. There's Dorothy Dean. AC Charles checking in. There's Alexis Matarantos. I think that's how we say it. Look forward to seeing the garden grow. Well, me too. There's Patricia. Charlotte's want fresh tomatoes when they get right. West Tennessee, FedEx or UPS. I guess I could. Boy, I'm sure hoping for a little better result this year than last year. Y'all remember I even had so many tomato plants I was giving them away, putting them on Facebook. I put 200 in the ground. They came up loaded down, and one by one they all died. I didn't get maybe one tomato off of it, 2 to 3 maybe. So I've done some analyzations. The best thing I did was talk to some of these old farmers around here, and I think we figured out maybe what it might have been. So we're switching sides of the garden. How about that? Maybe that'll do it. There's Manuel again. How are you, buddy? Long time no see. Got to get over to Nacogdoches and get me some. Yeah, well, you got it to do. You know where it's at. Good to see you on, buddy. Sherry Shaw is checking in from Brian. 1:30, thinking about the pup. Had to check the last video. I guess I'll walk in there real quick. He's going to be probably laid out and asleep, y'all. So he doesn't look good, but he is eating. He is drinking. He's not in pain. Getting up, walking around a little bit, and all normal signs. But I'm afraid we might be fighting a losing battle, but he's going to have to kind of encourage that he's eating a little bit more substance now. We should see some strength return if we're going to turn the corner on it. Let's see. Cottonwood, California. There's Mike. Good to see you, buddy. There's Senora Hernandez. How are you, man? I'm not going to say old teacher. A teacher. How's that? Does that work? I hope so. Let's see. Who else? There's my Aunt Pat. Stephen and Bill Norman's checking in from Nacogdoches. Misty Price. How are you, ma'am? I think she's up Quitman Way, Texas. Colden, Maryland. Goodness. A lot of Texas listening in Montgomery, Texas. Yeah, Robbins and Bud's down there. There's Margie. How are you, ma'am? Kimberly's saying howdy. And green thumb, but you need a red thumb for the tomato. Okay. All right. I hear you, man. Let me see. I'm going to walk in on Jordan. He's not quite expecting it. I don't know how well this is going to go, y'all. So let's see. Where's the puppy at? He's laid out. He don't look too good, but he's working on it. Hey, buddy. I wish he was up moving. Maybe I'll post a video later of it. Yeah. He's just arresting. He's trying to get that strength back. Let me see here. Hey, buddy. But he's eating and getting around a little bit. I think he likes to move around when we're asleep, so it is what it is. He's still fighting. But we'll just keep hoping for the best. And like I say, if we have to call it, we have to call it. But hope y'all have a good evening and a real good week. And be the light. All right? Y'all have a good week. Talk to you later. There's them chickens trying to get to the porch. Get out of here. Get on back.